All right, Tiema Obibi Akwaba. I'm from the last video of the day on Porcupine Stand here on YouTube with Seoberoba. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel to enjoy our amazing content. Our channel is so with a quick one, because throughout the week, and you how do I cost so our son took a cost away, you know. Yet me the ninja abrem throughout the week. I mean, Obia unya daje a monitor channel when him say Wednesday training news, Thursday training news, Friday training news. Yet me the abremo, and then tia nya sasan took a no pay or my training unconfirmed in T sanity. Tiana sometimes you mubia munya time in so sometimes I want to rush you through it quick, but people still complain. So go back and watch the other videos. I think that would ban your mind simple kaka. And because I hope so cry out when I issue. But in summary, the 20-man squad need the amount. In the other video, they say Albert Tamoa is out of the team. He's injured on Kahon. Then you get Frederick Asari, he's injured on Kahon. Fernando Wisdom Bassi is injured on Kahon. Elvis Chebafu Awuche is injured on Kahon. On the screens, image of that screen you see, it signals the possible 11 based on training as Santa Kobe Yusu against Vision FC. But before we move to other news, maybe a comment section in there. What is your prediction and your expectation from Kotoko Vision FC? Medical cassette, Lions, Sabo Nations. It's our two teams, you know. Baku or 30, Baku or 29. There is a possibility that points be drop it between one of them. Bechem United, they call Young Apostles, an away game. It's difficult. We are waiting to see what will happen. And I had to focus on that Kotoko anymore. And also Elko Samba Boy to play Samates. So 3 of the teams that are got Nations has Bechem and also Bebiani Ghost Stars. Ghost Stars are Accra Lions. 4 are away. 1 able home, which is out of Lions. But Lions will play against one of the teams that are got It means that a win for Kotoko based on permutations a bit me see from a year match ebe koso ochana. Yakiri kaka say matches and penny for bonny at the same time, you know. All Kotoko need to do is to get a win. And that possibly beat me the Kotoko around the 2nd or 3rd position by the end of the first round. This season, so I monitor Kotoko at no point based on my records. And I could quit me about that top of the league this season. Debiano, Kokaina Kotoko a match in hand. And Obaba against Bebiani Go Stars. Obaba against Legon Cities. And Ankasa match ni win. 8 minute Kotoko. Eko that top of the league. And we lost that game to Legon Cities. So the points gap Yedi Kanka 2 points. So all you need to do is to get about 3 wins consistent. Within that 3 wins, there's a higher possibility that teams near that when they will drop the points there. Okay, say at a point, Kotoko Diana has a Future Stars, Dreams FC, and also a Bebiani Go Stars. I made this same comment that if Kotoko born home and winning matches not to us, the conversation would definitely be different. When him said by the end of the first round, you may take your time. Near rough first round discussions in the year. But the month of December was a good month for Kotoko. What do you say? Month of December. As compared to the month of November. November, Kotoko bought 4 matches. Elusu 3. About Ewini 1. Lost to Heart of Lions. Lost to Bechem United. Luzu to Nations FC. And won against Ediana. That was 24th November. But in the month of December, Kotoko has, that was 15th after the elections, beat Go Stars and beat Midiama and also beat Dreams FC. Nti o check here. Gold Stars has Dreams Mediama draw. That was in the month of a year. Month I can say in the month of December. The Mediama draw no moment January. The January first game Kotoko is a draw against a year Mediama. So meaning the month of December Kotoko we need matches nina. One of the best months for Asante Kotoko. Definitely me sure say conversation around the Kotoko best player for the month of a year December beba. Baro Cheke a year month of December Albertamwa scored one of the goals against a year Heart to Folk. Then Babayaya and Abrante fan Saka scored 2 the goals against Dreams. And again Blay Beshe Bakon against Club a friend Gold Stars and Kwame Poku also share Bakon against Gold Stars. So I think that would be a different conversation for another day. But the point I want to build is that after Sakot could lose 4 matches twice, no, maybe I could that league in yet. But recently, the kind of wins as Asante Kotoko it me push you. So it means back-to-back wins, Kakrebi, in your remaining matches is able to change the conversation and push you to a higher position when it comes to conversations in the Ghana Premier League. Ntiabewe Kotoko all the best, and the 2 matches Karela and a Clubber. The fan vision. Try and get a win and move up in the Ghana Premier League. But this is the lineup. Based on training, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Yedi Kanka said exactly the things that happen at the training grounds. It's difficult for us to say it. Apart from players present, new players, any injury issues. We don't the exact training no more. And yes, I mean, on Wednesday there were delightful things I see our training grounds where some of the fans call how they were so happy with the job and coach Ogumeye. These are all things we don't talk about. I mean, meeting be a course between Coach Malik Jabel and Coach Ogum on how they are going to arrange things to play against against Vision FC. The Kotoko trying to make good use of one particular asset that could go use or more practicing with training. We can't talk about all that, but we can do the analysis when the game ends. Well, in fact, Kotoko lineup ni bin to sona yenka munsem. Mohamed Kamara would stay as the goalkeeper in this game. A open secret that Frederick Asare is out. And based on training, Kamara and Eda. Yes, Fatah will keep clean sheet against Accelerate, but he'll go back to the bench. And that is the news. Kamara and started. Right back, you don't need to be told. Because Emmanuel Corte caught for the rest of the season. And the information they could make a crime it me a catch us and take a tough one here say Seremwa I am kai Corte on pie boom. Because ni prano nyame amfafie bi krana. The rest of the season means he's not playing this season. But asked to when exactly he would come back and start training. It's a different story altogether. But what I said there. Say season we don't move, but so bet me a bantam. Now about starting next season as early as possible. It's a different story altogether, and that is why we need to remind Kai Abrantiano one pipe boom. So Lord Amwa starts with Patrick Essien, do no doubt about that. Now on shed any tough competitor because after say smart Kotoko in left back one. There's no alternative. And this is last season. Na Morrison Waho, na Benyini, I mean Nicholas or Sebonsu, na Coach Ogum Timmy both 3 back crowd Babaya Yakobo because Coach Ogum had Zeze, Lamte, Nicholas, Mensa, no Shadrach Adomo, Timmy Boss number 10. In no pave way made sometimes Timmy Babaya Yakobo left wing back. But I say in the middle, creative position, Aka 2. Yaya and entry. Until you can't even sacrifice Yaya to the wings as a wing back. That is when you are playing 3 back in the absence of Patrick Essien. The good news that Essien is fit. Yes, on Thursday, and Essien ma kakra. Kotoko trading. Obiana OTM Biana. I made mention of that. where in the middle of the training, Patrick Esiedu at some point, a puli a year and 9 kakra, Emma ne says Siedu, Okotranchain. But the good news is that Utimisa ba back ebe training, and on Friday, so no, Esiedu Timisa training, meaning that we're gaining full fitness and there's no issues. Esiedu takes over the left position. Samba and Ablo, Okaya coach Ogum decided to rest Samba in a game against Accelerate and about Ablo and Ansu, giving Ansu an opportunity. Asante Kotoko team. Samba comes back because clearly training Asante Kotoko during the week. The partnership and coach Ogumubo was Samba and Abrante and Ablo, and they takes over the defensive zone. Asante Kotoko in Komum and Asante Kotoko and Shishe with a midfield against Accelerate. Coach Ogum changes. Yaya Beko bench, Andrews in team man Beko bench, and Justice Blay Beko bench. So Coach Ogum decided to give some of the players who are not having more playing time an opportunity. For instance, Asante Kotoko Abrante and Emmanuel entry. Eba Beshe Babaya and 9 the creative midfield role. Now when you change Jamana and it's somewhat to do, but the story changes because all these players are going back to the bench for Andrews in team menu, which the catcher said technical team decided some man arrest. But what ya peke is CO training, where kasa based on training. With me training the whole week without any knock, without limping or showing any signs say how be or so Andrews in team menu comes back together with Justice Blair on Sunya arrest in the FA Cup with Babayaya. Yes, Babayaya Babs. That is how Coach Ogum Freno or no airbot the number 10 role. Well, the other aspect of the conversation among for chain whether Eduku will start or Eduku will not start. Jadi can't catch him say Minta and Timianye training bebre. Now I know people want to find out why Minta is not training. And I also want to find out, but you see, there is difference between getting the story and presenting the story. Maybe a damn young Kasame interview, I'll talk about it. And your story in there are stories where it's so delicate to the extent that you need a higher form of confirmation to voice it out. I mean, Kotoko just signed a player. 3 days now, 1 year training. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 1 year training. But saying can't tell on authority, so a prayer. You don't come out and speculate. So I know people want to find out why he's not training or why Minta is not training. But what I can tell you is that I have no information, and there are certain things, even if I have the information, it's better to keep quiet and do your other stories. And during the week there, what we realize is that starting from even last week, now Coach Ogum ebo Peter Aqua. After sena Aqua nya knock no de ovoka and avoka ebe share and obo Dauda Saka with Kwame Poku as the front 3. Now Peter recover into the Peter Babeshaw. So in the first team, you see Peter Aqua, Dauda Saka, and Abrante and Kwame Poku. Now what we've noticed in Coach Ogum's training is that you know, see, I catch him said Jordan Emisa. As no one fit. And Emisa picked the knock. In tonight, Avoka. What you say? Avoka here. Then you get a year Abrante and Samson Eduku. Eso aha. Now Omobo ewa the other side of the Asante Kotoko team. Now Godfred could you support. Because Nana Mintai out. Because Nana Esiama Emisa Suye out in Tino. Last week, they now Coach Ogumbo front 3 of Emisa, Eduku, and Minta. Last week, the Minta is training. Emisa, Eduku, ni Minta. And send any name say Minta registration go through. Eduku didn't go through. And that is why I confirmed last week that Jordan Emisa ebe free bench haba. But this week, they confirmed mama say Emisa was injured. Minta registered, but 1 year training was to dag out. So what we realize that Coach Ogumoyeni training now, kakrebet me akani say the likely substitution ebekoso is Samson Eduku coming from the bench. Until for now, omo trying a front 2. Say players leading the attack of Asante Kotoko. Say you may be a Chembenya Kwabnayaro Eric Bequin. na 9 and 10 wa Asante Kotoko. Seydou Bouncy ene Dauda eye Mohammed okay Dauda Mohammed Yaya Mohammed Seydou Bouncy Oberewusu Dauda Mohammed Oberewusu Sadiq Adams ebia Oberewusu Yakubu Mohammed. That kind of two forward, but I could drop it deep, one stay up to do the finishing, but I could drop it ebe create Kotoko yes are training but the truth is they are not starting with that. They are starting with the usual 4-3-3 system. I name the coach Ogum Abawa Asante Kotoko na. So the surprise element or the other package I want here say Kotoko can move to a 4-4-2, still 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 with a branch of an Eduku operating from one side of the wings. But the point is Kwame Poku throughout every form of training a club Asante Kotoko and on the boy as the center forward. Inti eno die free hoba jade mamo from Asante Kotoko training ground. So with lineup at that screen you see Mohamed Kamara, Justice Blaze, Samba Onel, Saka Dauda, Patrick Esiedu, Babayaya, Joseph Ablo, Lord Amwa, Intimenu, Peter Aqua, any Abranche Fen Kwame Pokuno. This was Kotoko against Gold Stars. I can sit here and confirm it to you that these same players are set to start for Asante Kotoko. On the bench, Fatau Ewum, but Kote Efrim, ena Fernando Suefrim, Emisa Esuti Keka, Nti Manuel Entwi ba beshem, Henry Ansu ba beshem, cause on sells check bench we are Ansunim, Ti Ansu ba beshem, Vetos Avoka Umdada, Tinedu Umdada, Che Jamana Umdada, into 2 replacement as Samson Eduku for Fernando, then Emmanuel Kote will be replaced by Henry Ansu to complete the starting 11 of Asante Kotoko. And also don't forget that would means 9 players into Emmanuel Entwi based on the late fitness test I pick to complete the conversation for a team Asante Kotoko. So it was a positive week. I mean, this week was much better than last week. Last week here, no training grounds because not injuries now near banner dorsal. But the good news that this week it is not like last week. You are recording any major injury. Injury be a baby a Kotoko accelerate the DNA and the players, the medical team decided to be careful with how they will use the players in order not to aggravate the injury. But all in all, it was a good week from Asante Kotoko training grounds, and this is where we draw the curtains for this week. Don't forget to drop your prediction. Kotoko and a club your friend Vision FC. Well, on Hamza at the end of the year, you can't Canada to a china. The BC after the game, nearby be breaking news in the Amamo on Monday. Bye bye.